Dear participants, I welcome all of you in this course of data science using Python. So, in this lecture, I will discuss the course structure. So, this course has been divided into 12 weeks, and what all we will discuss in these 12 weeks that we will see. So, in week 1, in very first week, we will introduce you to the data science. Then we'll discuss how data science is different from artificial intelligence and machine learning and how they are actually interrelated. Is there any relationship between these three? So that we will discuss. Then we will introduce you to Python programming. We will also discuss major Python libraries such as NumPy and Matplotlib and several advanced Python libraries that we will discuss. We will also see what all major Python programming frameworks are there, such as Google Colab and IDLE Integrated Development and Learning Environment. We will discuss several available dataset repositories such as Kaggle and University of California dataset. Then we will move on to discuss several data sets that will be utilized in the course, such as data set for diabetes prediction and agriculture crop prediction. So these we will discuss in very first week. In next week, that is in week number 2, we'll discuss statistics and probability concept. Here we will introduce you the different categories of statistics, that is descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. We will also introduce you to hypothesis, which is an important concept in inferential statistics. Then we will discuss probability theory, and finally we will be discussing certain problems related to statistics and probability. In third week, we will introduce you to Python programming, and here we will discuss several concepts related to Python programming, such as data types and variables, input and output, how can we provide input and how can we get output using Python programming. We will also discuss operators, functions, user-defined functions, as well as system-defined functions. We'll see and we'll discuss how can we create user-defined functions. Then we will move on to discuss decision making and looping constructs. So there are different type of loops that are used in Python programming, such as for loop and while loop and so on. We have certain problems specific to these concepts of Python programming. Then in week 4, we will continue to discuss Python programming, and here we will discuss several data types and data structures, such as string, list, tuple, set, dictionary. So these are very important data structures. And then we will see certain problems related to these concepts and data structures. In week 5, we will continue to discuss Python programming, where we will discuss how object-oriented programming concepts can be implemented in Python. We will discuss modules and packages, and what are the purpose of modules and why packages are used in Python, and how you can create your own modules and packages. Then we will discuss an important concept, that is error handling. So Python provides a very fine level of error handling mechanism. Then we will move on to discuss file handling. How can we read certain file and how data can be written to file using Python programming. And at last, we will be discussing certain problems related to concepts discussed in this week number 5. In week 6, that is week number 6, we will discuss advanced Python libraries such as NumPy and Pandas, and especially we have certain problems related to NumPy and Pandas. So these two are very important libraries for data science and machine learning. So we have especially designed problems for related to NumPy and Pandas. In week number 7, we will continue to discuss advanced Python libraries, and in this week we will discuss data loading and storage techniques, visualization using Matplotlib and Seaborn. So these two are advanced libraries, Matplotlib and Seaborn, which are actually used in visualization purpose. Then we'll discuss sklearn, scikit-learn. It is also called as scikit-learn, and the purpose of this library is to perform different stages of data science and machine learning. So perform different activities in different stages of data science and machine learning. Then we will discuss deep learning based Python libraries such as Keras, TensorFlow and PyTorch. In week number 8, we will discuss data preprocessing techniques and strategies. Here we will be discussing how to handle missing values, how to handle class imbalance problem, feature scaling, transformation, how to transform categorical data into numeric value. Similarly, we'll discuss discretization, then image and text preprocessing, and finally dimensionality reduction. So all these we will discuss in week number 8. In week number 9, we will introduce you to machine learning. Here we will discuss supervised learning. Then we will discuss the concept of regression, and especially in regression we will discuss linear regression. Then we will move on to discuss classification, where we will be discussing KNN, K nearest neighbor, and decision tree. And we will also discuss performance measures such as accuracy, recall, F1 and so on. So there are several performance measures. So all these we will discuss in week number 9. In week number 10, we will be discussing certain machine learning specific concepts such as supervised learning, logistic regression, ANN, activation functions, hyperparameter, binary and multi-class classifications, regularization, and what are validation set, so overfitting and underfitting, unsupervised learning, and in this unsupervised learning we will be discussing clustering. So all these we will discuss in week number 10. And in next week, that is in week number 11, we will be discussing deep learning based concepts, and we will show you how deep learning can be compared with machine learning. So we will compare and contrast machine learning and deep learning. Then we'll discuss task of image classification. We'll discuss CNN based deep learning model. Then we'll discuss task of text classification. And at last, we'll be discussing RNN. So all these we will be discussing in week number 11. And in last week, that is week number 12, which is specific to end-to-end projects. Here we will discuss three different projects. So the very first project is related to binary classification. And here we will be discussing diabetes prediction. And in next project, which is a multi-class classification based problem, where we will be discussing crop recommendation. And the third project would be of regression type of problem. So in here we will discuss horse price prediction, which is a regression type of problem. And finally, we will conclude the whole data science course, and we will also give certain future directions after the completion of this particular course. Thank you so much. We will meet again in next lecture.